Woo, man, that feels solid right there. You might be thinking, not another one of these 5-minute slice fix videos, because you know it's not real, right? But what I'm about to share with you here now is real. And if you give me 5 minutes a day at home, I will show you the actual plan that permanently fixes your slice and gives you effortless power with 0 range time. All right, the first piece is the grip. And I see all these coaches talk about gripping the club in a way that your arms hang naturally or something, which I've never understood. We want to grip the club in a way that affects the club face the way that we're trying to affect it, right? So in this case, we want a more closed club face. This is a closed face grip. Simple way to think about it here. Turn your hands on the grip of the club in the direction that the ball's going that you don't want it to go. So what it means for a right-handed player, if the ball's going to the right, just turn your hands over to the right, okay? That makes the club face want to go left. I call this the cheat grip because it makes that club face want to square up, turn over, go left without automatically, really, without you having to do anything. So that is the first change here. And if you want some free lessons that go into real detail on the grip, go to facefirstgolf.com. But the grip, the closed face grip, is the first piece to this. But the face is only part of the equation. We've got 2 things that affect the direction that your golf shots go, and only 2 things. They are face, that's the grip piece that we just talked about. The other piece here is path, okay? And what we want is the opposite of what most players are struggling with. Almost everybody's swinging over the top, leads to having to hold that club face open so you don't pull it, but that leads to the chicken wing, which is a really weak move, as opposed to what I call the effortless power forearm rollover release here, okay? And so, but how simple does this make this if you just think about there are only 2 things that affect the direction that your golf shots go, and the only skill that you really need to work on are 1, swinging that path from the inside along this alignment stick, okay? So that's path from the inside on the downswing, and then getting that face of the club a little bit closed to the path, which is this alignment stick right here. That's our face aim line at impact. This is our path swing line on the downswing. So what we're trying to do is just get the path to swing along this alignment stick, but at impact, we want that face aimed where that back alignment stick is. Simple old school way here to think about this. Path sends it, face bends it, okay? This is our path line right here. So if I swing along the path line from in to out for a right-handed player to the right, for a left-handed player to the left, the ball is going to start in that direction. But where it's going to end up is determined by where the face was pointed at the point of impact. In this case, our face line being this one right here. So this again is that face closed relative to the path. So if I swing along this, path sends it is going to start the ball out to the right. And as long as I'm making that effortless power forearm rollover release, the little cheat move for the face is that closed face grip that we just talked about right there. Our little cheat move for swinging that path from the inside is to drop this back foot back a little bit, okay? That is going to kind of preset your turn, helps you get your hands a little bit deeper behind you right here. Most players, square stance, not very much turn in the backswing, hands go up. Now you're in that position where you're gonna swing over the top and make that weak over the top move with that glancing blow, the chicken wing, all the things that we don't want. So we drop this trail foot back. That's our little cheat for this path coming more from the inside on the downswing. And one super quick thing I need to throw in here is just that when you drop this trail foot back a little bit, the other thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is moving your ball position back a little bit, okay? Because when you drop that back foot back, it has the effect of moving the bottom of your swing arc back a little bit. And so we just want to play the ball back, feel like you play it a little bit back of center so that you make that ball first contact and you don't hit the ground behind the ball. All right, now this all starts to tie in what I promised before. You can work on this in 5 minutes a day at home and really build this skill. I've got an alignment stick right out here. The purpose of the alignment stick is to start the ball to the right of the target, okay? that gives you a visual on starting that ball to the right of the target for a right-handed player, to the left for a left-handed player. And tying this into the doing this 5 minutes at home, if you see any of my videos that I shoot into my net at home, you'll notice I hang a target strip right in the exact same place, maybe even a little bit to the right of here, but it's just right down my target line. I hang that target strip just a little bit out to the right. That's my visual when I'm practicing this at home into the net, of getting that path to come from the inside and getting the ball to start on that line a little bit to the right of the target. Because when you start to go to this closed face grip, when you start to make the effortless power forearm rollover release, a lot of players fear the hook, and you can hook it, right? Because when you start to try to roll it over, a lot of players will start to come back over the top. But if you have something like this alignment stick, if you're practicing this at the range, or or a strip into your net at home, that's how you really practice making sure that you're getting that path to come from the inside on the downswing, so that you can really start to get the benefits of the effortless power forearm rollover release without fearing the hook. Now, here's why I say 5 minutes a day at home, okay? Because it is about quality reps, not quantity of reps. And when you start working on this, you're gonna have to relearn this over and over from one day to the next. You will forget it from one day to the next until you've done it day after day after day after day. Then you'll remember it, and that's when you're really starting to ingrain it. So what I'm talking about here, learning how to swing that path from the inside with the face closed relative to the path, that is the skill that all the great ball strikers have that you don't have. It's the skill that I learned that took me from a 15 to a 6 handicap. That's how important this is. And I will go so far as to say it is the #1 skill that you have to learn, and there is no #2 until you learn this skill. This is what's going to transform your ball striking, but you have to work on it on a regular daily basis, short, frequent practice sessions over a long period of time. The driving range isn't where you do it, because you go out there and I call it try this, try that, where you try to correct ball flight from one swing to the next with a different swing thought. It doesn't accomplish any kind of skill building. Skill building takes place when you're doing that practice into the net at home. And that is how you can literally get better 10 times faster, and you can spend 1/10 of the time and build skills 10 times faster when you practice at home, hitting balls into a net with the ball flight removed, okay? So now we're gonna hit a few. I'm gonna take you through this exact protocol that you can do at home to build these skills. All right, time to hit a few here. I know I get those comments where it's like, just hit the ball, you know, and it's like, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of an over-explainer, guilty as charged. My wife would agree with that. But this is what you need to know to completely transform your game. This is it. If you understand this process, you can become a ball striker unlike anything that you ever imagined possible, but you've got to understand this process, and here's what it is. When you're doing these small swings, slow speed, small swings at home, making these quality reps instead of quantity of reps. So we're just going to come in here, air with the ball back a little bit. We're gonna set that face square. We're gonna take that good closed face grip. We're gonna drop this back foot back a little bit, and we're just going to exaggerate swinging along this one. We're gonna exaggerate the toe passing the heel of the club. I want you to make 2 little rehearsal moves every time before you hit a ball, reinforcing what it is that you're working on. And here's all that it looks like. It's real, just relaxed, kind of lazy looking. Aim that face. Good closed face grip, a little bit of that closed stance right here. And now we are just getting the ball started right at target. That one started to try to turn a little bit, but didn't turn a lot, right? And sometimes when you have that alignment stick right out in front of you, you're trying to get it started right at that strip, it's hard to swing that path more from the inside and really whip the toe past the heel. That's what gets it turning left. And those are the skills that we want to exaggerate. Swinging from the inside, toe passing the heel. We want to really exaggerate those. Okay, so let's see if we can get one to turn a little bit more here. Now, closed face, closed stance. 1, 2, really trying to exaggerate that toe of the club whipping past the heel of the club. And there's one really turned nice and hard to the left. And that is, man, I mean, I did not even feel like I swung at that. I'm sitting here talking about these small, slow swings. Feel like I didn't even swing at it. And ball went a long way, because that is that efficiency. That's effortless power right there. I'm letting the club do the work, right? So same thing again. Let's see if we can get that exaggerated feeling of that same thing again. Man, that's just a good feeling shot. And even for me, you know, I've been working on this for 25 years and I still need to exaggerate this in my practice to make sure that I don't revert back to old habits here. Closed stance, 1, 2. See if we can really whip that toe past the heel of the club here. Ooh, there's another one turning hard left. That one started a lot closer to the alignment stick right there, didn't it? So one more here, but that's the little, and I tell you, you know, I feel like I'm making half swings, half speed, but that ball's popping off the club face and going a pretty long way for small swings at small speed. So one more here. Aim that face, close face grip, close that stance, 1, 2. Woo, man, that feels solid right there. And I mean, that's gotta be, feels like a tiny little swing, but that's gotta be pretty close to almost my normal distance with this club. So 6-iron, by the way, is what I'm working on this with, but that's how you go about working on this. Now I'm gonna get those people who say, hey, you say you're making a half swing, that's not a half swing. Well, I would tell you, you go try to make a half swing when you're doing these small little repetitions. I promise you what feels like a half swing is much longer and faster than what it feels like. So, whew, that was a lot to go through in a short period of time here. I really appreciate you being here. That is the process. And I just see so many players who are, I call this head, hands, heart, okay? And so when you're in your head, that's when you're watching all this stuff on YouTube. The hands part is when you go and try to put this to work on the range or whatever. And then, but good, really great golf is played from the heart, okay? So, but most players are just head, hands, YouTube, range, YouTube, range. Oh, well, at the first sign that it quits working or something, then they're right back to YouTube, right? And they just never develop the resolve and the resiliency that you need. It's not hard work, as you can see here. When I talk about 5 minutes a day, if you could do this 2 or 3 times for 5 minutes a day, imagine how quickly you would start to build these skills. And the work is so easy to do. It just requires a little bit of discipline. It requires a little bit of resolve, the resiliency, okay? So I appreciate you being here, and I really hope this helps, and I hope you end up playing your best golf ever.